All right, hello and welcome everyone. So today we're going to be talking about Khora. Honestly, I thought I did this a while ago, like kind of post the full Warframe review, but apparently I never made that video and my brain's bad. So we're going to talk about Khora right now because I wanted to go over kind of what she does now and update my thoughts on her. So let's talk about this. Basically, Khora got a 1 augment, and the 1 augment is really good. This is Accumulating Whip Claw. Hitting 3 enemies will grant a 35% stacking damage bonus to subsequent Whip Claws. The bonus will decay after 10 seconds. This can stack up to 350% damage, which is extremely powerful. In addition to that, like, we have like a ton of range, which is going to make it so that our whip hits 10 meters, and that's like a gigantic area considering we're going to be using our 2 to pull enemies into that 10-meter area. And this is an incredibly efficient build that doesn't really require a lot of strength to murder pretty much anything, because we have our stat stick, which I'll show in a moment, and of course Accumulating Whip Claw to kind of just peel through anything that needs to be peeled through. This is, of course, a very Forma-intensive build because it's using Umbral Vitality and Umbral Intensify, but that is by no means required and is like just kind of for giggles because I wanted to play Khora. So yeah, I will say that Corrosive Projection is like by far the best thing you can put on Khora. It's like the one issue she can have is armor, and you'll see that with the way that I built my stat stick as well, that it is for getting through armor. But yeah, this build works out very, very well. I'm also really happy with Guardian on here, as it gives me a little bit more bulk, because that's one of the weak points of Khora in a lot of cases, is that your bulk is your weekend, where you can get one shot in a number of higher level scenarios. Anyway, let's look at the Venka Prime. The Venka Prime is kind of the optimal for Khora because it has a way better combo meter than any other melee weapon in the game. And of course, it also can fit all of the mods that I want to use. I am using the sacrificial mods here, and that is because Khora's whip is actually pretty heavily crit statted, and if you're using both of the sacrificial mods, you get a 110% critical chance, boosting me up above the 50% critical chance mark. And because I'm hitting so many enemies, that turns out to be really, really consistent, and I don't mind the slight loss in positive melee damage that I'm getting. I think it's actually better to kind of go more in on that critical chance so you can hit enemies extremely hard whenever you crit, as opposed to hitting just slightly harder whenever you're not critting. But yeah, this build has worked out to be fantastic. It is corrosive based. Obviously, you would switch this to viral if you're running a full corrosive projection party. But in most cases, I don't think that you will be, as Khora, it feels kind of like more of a solo frame that is good at a variety of content. So yeah, that's pretty much what's up. Otherwise, I'm just using the Vectis Prime because this is good whenever abilities don't affect a thing you need to shoot. In 99% of cases, if Khora's 1 can't hit it, the Vectis solves the problem, which is why I have the Vectis equipped on her. The Tomb Finger is very similar, but it's just another extremely good sort of single target-ish damage, but this is also good at taking out nullifiers, which is a huge bonus. And it's worth noting that I do have Venari Formad, but I don't think Venari matters at all. You can just instantly resummon Venari if it dies, so whatever. Just leave her in healing mode all the time. Like, whatever you throw on this cat really does not matter at all. But this is a full build for the cat if you wanted to see it. So yeah, we have all that business, and then of course Helios and stuff backing it up. So yeah, we are going to show a level 100 test, and it's going to be extremely easy because Khora's 2 kind of just solves this, because it brings them all in, and then we whip them good. In the top right, you can see me building up that damage. So yeah, there's that. And then we solve the problem. Whip it good. This also goes through walls, so if you know where the enemy is, you can whip them. Also, you get a damage bonus if you're using your 2 on enemies. So you'll do even more damage if you whip them while your 2 is on them. So if you have a hard target that needs to A, not shoot you, and B, die faster, you can throw your 2 on it. Or if you have a large group, you can throw your 2 on it. And you really don't need to do much of anything else. Also, like I said, this mode is the healing mode, and this is the one that I would just generally suggest you sit in all the time. If you're not aiming at someone else and you hold 3, you will mark yourself for Venari to put the heal on you. Which you can do to heal quicker, and that's all fine and good. The other 2 modes of Venari don't matter at all. They're pretty much completely useless. And your 4 is a panic button. So this is how big the 4 is with this build. It is relatively large-ish. It's like an okay size, but if you like really need to lock down an area or just like have an area to be kind of safe, this will pretty much get you there. I think this is Khora's weakest ability overall, because if you're using her 1 and her 2, pretty much everything should be dead, and that's like, you know, making it so you just don't really need her 4. If everything's dead, getting them stuck in a web just really doesn't matter. Also, the effect where if you open her 4 and then enemies are in this and you whip 1 and it hits all of them, it's worth noting accumulating whip claw does not work with that, where it hits everybody, because accumulating whip claw has to hit 3 enemies, but it doesn't work in synergy with this 4. So it's way better to use your 2, which will then drag all the enemies together, so you do get your 1 augment all beefed up and with tons of damage. So yeah, that's kind of Khora. It's like really simple. The job is for you to whip them into shape it up, and that's all there is to it. That's what's happening with Khora. Also, she has a cat, I guess. Doesn't really matter, that part. But yeah, that's Khora. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I will see you tomorrow.